Hey everyone, it's Exo Man, and do you see my dog frolicking out there? I was out here the other day with my cat, and my cat was frolicking, and we were doing a walk and talk, and we went inside. Many of you have seen the videos on this, and a few minutes later, not not even 20 minutes later, the cat came to the door. Farm girl opened the door and she gasped in horror. Our cat was bleeding from the eye, from the nose, from the mouth. Our cat had been shot in the face. And it was very sad. Um, we didn't know right away that it was a bullet injury. I didn't want to think that. I thought I had hoped that the cat had been bitten by a snake and that it was fang marks in the face. But it turned out to be a bullet. A projectile was lodged in the cat's head. And our cat has been suffering for over a week, and we've been paying a lot of money. We've been suffering. We've been up at night with the cat. My son and his girlfriend have been helping us take care of the cat. We've been going to the vet over and over again. Cats had overnight stays, surgeries. It's just been a nightmare. And what ensued after I released a video discussing this was a lot of anger. It precipitated a lot of anger from our viewers. Obviously, I was hurt and angry, but it got me thinking. I mean, so much vitriol and hatred and anger was coming from this event, from people watching and listening and hearing what happened. And it really got me to thinking about anger. What is anger? Why is it necessary? Why is it such a big part of our world? Well, it is necessary. Sometimes, in the right amount, in the right way. We need just as we have our fight or flight instincts. We need anger sometimes to motivate us to action when it is absolutely necessary. But what I am finding and what I am learning is that I myself am steeped in anger. I grew up in anger. I grew up with a very, very angry, a very angry man until I was about 6 or 7 when that man left my life. But he had left a legacy of anger that I would grapple with for the rest of my life. Profound anger. I as a boy and young man would fight at the drop of a hat. Someone insulted my mentally handicapped brother when I was a child in an art class, and I literally flew over the table fist first into that boy's face, and I took him on the ground, and the teacher ushered me out of the class after I brutalized this child, and she brutalized me. She beat me with a wooden paddle, which is what we did back in the day. It was corporal punishment. I was angry all the time, and when events occurred that challenged me, my go-to response was anger and outrage. And I learned it from my father. I learned it from television and movies and from the brooding and the macho and the stoic Avengers that I saw on the screen. That just, what I'm talking about. Just lots of anger. I was involved in gang fights when I was a teenager. I was bitten, torn, I punched, I kicked. I have been kicked in the head. I've kicked people in the face. I've known all of this guttural expression of anger, and what I learned was anger truly begets anger, and when to be triggered and when not to be triggered. And I got to tell you, usually we should not be triggered to that kind of anger, to that kind of physical outrage and outburst. And so this event with my cat being shot really got me to thinking, and it got me to think quite a bit about all of this, and about how I've lived a good portion of my life, and it's time for me, and I hope it will be time. I hope this message will help to wake up some of you who are grappling with this. You, my friends, have learned this. You have been steeped in this. You have been taught this. You've cultured in this. You've watched your movie heroes, and that's our escape. We watch cage fighting, and we watch all of these things that so portray the way a man should be, that is not really how men should be. Men should be provoked to that kind of physical expression and outrage when there is no other alternative. Now, I realize that there are things more dire than my cat being shot in the face, and I will tell you that when I had children, I was a bear protector, and I have a wife, and I am a bear at protecting her. And there is no limit to what I might be able to do, and I don't even want to visit that arena right now in thought. But know that when that is necessary, yes, we express, but it's just not necessary all the time. We shouldn't teach our children, especially our young men, to be angry. Where is prudence? Where is temperance? Where are our values when we anger is our go-to response to everything? I had people when I talked, and I love the concern, and I love the heartfelt and guttural response to our crisis with our pet being attacked. But I love that people were so wanting to help us and concerned and praying for us and sending us love and all that. But I'm just astounded that it just reminds me, when I hear people saying, I would burn down my neighbor's house, and it's time for a beat down, and I'll come there and I'll kill somebody for you, and I'll do that. Without me having specifically identified the person, and everybody rushing to have me beat somebody down or shoot somebody or get even, that's not the wisest choice. The wisest choice is to sit quietly, to walk softly, and to observe in times like this when we've been violated and hurt, and to contemplate and meditate and look for an answer, not to lash out, brazen, with guns ablazing, and I just don't think that's the wise choice. So I just thought it would be I had to express this and my concern with this country and with this world we live in. There's too much violence. There's too much anger. In my days of violence, it was always reactionary. I never brought violence on people. We need to have the rule of law. We need to observe that. We need to respect that as much as possible. I know that the judicial system can let us down sometimes, but it is purposeful. It is designed to protect us, and sometimes, and oftentimes it does. Most times it does, when it's truly needed. The law enforcement organizations, the judicial system are in place, and they do serve justice. And so that needs to be the go-to. And let me just say that all alternatives need to be exhausted before we start thinking in those terms. Think about love, meditate, think about truly understanding a situation. Who changes the world? What people change the world is the most profoundly over time throughout history? Is it the Genghis Khan or the Adolf Hitler, or is it the Jesus or the Gandhi figures? I think it's the latter. I think it's the people who are thoughtful and who bring in all the resources to make a decision and try to act through love and understanding versus fueling this anger and outburst and hatred and vitriol. That's not thoughtful to me. That's not thought provoking. It's knee jerk. And I think that love is powerful, and just, I guess I've said enough. I hope I've gotten my point across. But suffice to say, let us slow it down. Let's slow it, bring it way down. We're always, why do we always have to come in so hot on these kind of things? I would really love it. And again, this whole torrent of anger, I appreciate it. I do understand it. But what if more people were to say to me, like many have, we're sending love, we're sending good vibes. I hope that much is learned and that the truth can be uncovered. Things like that are positive. Those are reinforcing things. Talks of beat downs and house burnings and lynchings and all those things, those are for bygone eras. I would like to move into an era of love and understanding, and where people exhaust all of the best resources before these things have to come about. I walked away. I moved away from the city. I spent a lot of my life in inner cities and later in the suburbs, and I was provoked too often, quite frankly, around that kind of population. Too many people. There's too many opportunities for confrontation. So I withdrew with my family out to the outskirts, to the country, and I have less occasion for conflict. And so there are many ways we can do that. It doesn't always have to be, geographic. There are ways we can remove ourselves from situations that might ignite these kind of conflicts and confrontations. So just food for thought, people. Just want to remind myself and all of us to look within and just be more thoughtful. What I want here is a discussion of virtue over vice. Anger is a vice, people. Like any other vice, it can cause self-destruction. Anger is a very powerful tool. It's like a gun. It's a very, very useful and powerful instrument. But used in the wrong way, we can annihilate ourselves. We can self-destruct. We can destroy others' lives, and in so doing, destroy our own. So use it very sparingly, if you will, is what I'm saying, if at all. And I know in the end that the world will always have its sham and drudgery, but we can rise up. There is always the cream at the top. There's always a better place for us to be, and shed a light and set an example. Okay, so again, thank you all for your very serious concerns and the outpouring of love, as well as the torrent of passion. And I hope that more of us will go placidly and live our lives, to the fullest, fruitfully, and have longevity in our sanity, in our forgiveness and outlook of love. Okay? Thanks again for watching, everyone, and I wish you the best. I hope you have an awesome summer. Some of our plans have changed because of this, and well, anyway, more on that soon. Thank you again, and all the best.